So later today, the United States will be having another No Kings protest. And apparently there's going to be 3,000 events planned throughout the United States. Sounds impressive, right? Unfortunately, I'm not impressed to be honest. Now this video might be a bit controversial because I know I'm going to get a lot of Democrats that are going to be saying, hey, we're doing everything we can and, I have no right to complain and, I'm not living within the borders living through this. So for those Democrats thinking of doing a Chuck Schumer and writing me an angry email, you can take a number and then, the co-host will respond to you as soon as she can. But all jokes aside, everybody who has participated in the previous No Kings protests, I commend you. But unfortunately, the 5 million and 7 million that participated in the last two protests, unfortunately, it's just not enough people. And in this video, I'm going to explain why. Before I start, let me just show you this video from Rachel Maddow. And she kind of summarizes a little bit of what happened in the last two protests, as well as the incidents that have happened since the last protest. Let's take a look.
This weekend, this Saturday, Liam's hometown of Minneapolis will be the flagship protest in what is expected potentially to be the largest single day of protest in American history. June of last year, that was the first No Kings protest. That drew an astonishing 5 million people across the country. You might remember that was June 14th, the first No Kings Day. That was the day Trump tried to throw himself a weird North Korea-style military parade for his own birthday. That sad, low turnout event was wildly overshadowed by 5 million Americans turning out at protests against Trump all over the country. And then there was the second No Kings Day in October. That one did not draw 5 million people. That one drew 7 million people. The flagship protest in October was in Philadelphia, the birthplace of the Constitution. 7 million people turned out on No Kings Day in October.
Now, I got no problems with Rachel Maddow, and I think she's actually one of the better journalists out there. But the emphasis on 7 million people in the United States participating, it seems a little bit, how do I say it, underwhelming? Because having 2% of your population participate is like a drop in the bucket.
And that was before Trump bulldozed the East Wing of the White House, and before he tried to arrest 6 Democratic members of Congress, and before we learned that in addition to bombing random boats in the Caribbean, he was also deliberately killing the survivors of those bombings, which is a war crime. It was before he invaded Venezuela and announced he was taking their oil. It was before he started an apocalyptic war with Iran. It was before he renamed the Kennedy Center for himself and then announced that he would close it. It's before he blew up health insurance for millions of American families. It's before he effectively made the Nobel Peace Prize winner give him her prize. It's before he sent the FBI to seize the ballots from Atlanta, Georgia. It's before he posted a video online depicting President Obama and his wife Michelle Obama as if they were apes. It's before they killed Renee Nicole Good. It's before they killed Alex Pretty. It's before they took Liam. This Saturday it will be Minneapolis as the flagship, but there are more than 3,000 separate protests planned all over the country this Saturday. No Kings.
Now, while I do commend and acknowledge every single one of these 7 million people, or more, if it's going to be more this time, I do acknowledge that you guys are trying to make a difference and becoming the resistance. But the reality does need to be stated, and it's shown right here in this pie chart, the US presidential election 2024 voter distribution. Now, if I tally up every single group that was eligible to vote, we have 244,819,890. Now, if I subtract the orange guy amount, the new number is 168,937,009. This group here represents the people who voted for Harris, who are a non-voter and also third party. So if you compare this to the last No Kings protest of 7 million people, it's only still about maybe 4.1% and still a drop in the bucket. Now, I know what some people are going to say. They're going to say that the non-voter group, some people were unable to vote or their documents weren't right and, basically their vote didn't count, or basically making it as difficult as possible for somebody to actually vote. I acknowledge that and I understand that, but I'm not talking about the votes right now. I'm talking about the participation and the reality of how big the resistance is. Because unfortunately, the size of the resistance is about the size of this Krispy Kreme donut compared to the rest of the pie. It's not that big, to be honest, if we're looking at the size and population of the United States. But with this New Kings protest, I do hope that there's going to be more participants. Because everything that has happened since the last Kings protest till now, that Rachel Maddow basically listed out earlier, it's not going to stop. Now, I want to show this clip because what she mentions about the current TSA situation It does make you wonder if this was the plan all along. And stick with me on this. This TSA topic does relate to the No Kings protest. Because in all honesty, this is just one of the hundreds of things that they should be protesting for. Now, before I get started on that clip, I would like to give a shout out to Michael, who sent in this photo from Lake Louise. I still personally haven't been there yet, but I think once I'm back in Vancouver and, settled down, I'm going to have to take a road trip across Canada. But I thank you for sending this over to me. And also thanks for the pictures from Vancouver as well. I'll use them in the future. Okay, let's get started with the video clip.
So they stopped paying the people that keep you safe at the airport for 5 weeks. 400 of them quit. Lines stretched 3 hours long. And the solution? Send the people they are paying. The ones trained for 6 weeks instead of 6 months. The ones who just dragged a crying woman across a boarding gate in plain clothes without showing a badge. Psychologists call this manufactured helplessness. You create the crisis, you offer the cure, and the cure just happens to be exactly what you wanted. Page 159 of the policy blueprint that nobody read said to starve the airport agency until it fails, then privatize it, then replace it. Armed agents in airports is not a solution to long lines. It's a rehearsal. The question isn't why they sent them. The question is, what do they need you to get used to? Class dismissed.
Now, that last part she said about getting used to it, that is the part that actually scares me. Because the more apathetic US citizens that we see, the longer this is going to go on. And to be honest, the rest of the world, we're just wondering, when the hell is the US going to get their shit together? Because I don't want to get used to this.
So this pen is very inexpensive, but it writes well. I like it. But I can't have the pen the way it was, you know what it is. I don't want to give too much publicity, but they do treat me well, Sharpie. But I'm handing out to kids that don't even know what to do. What is this, Mommy? It's kids. They're getting a pen for $1,000. They have no idea what it is. This one, I called the guy. I said, I'd like to use your pen, but I can't have a gray thing with a big S on it.
Okay, I thought I could play this longer, but I can't, even with his voice changed. But this is the so-called leader of the free world. The guy that has access to the nukes, and he's talking about a freaking Sharpie. But something really needs to change, and I do hope that these protests, there is a bigger showing this time around. But in my opinion, and I'm not an expert at this at all, there needs to be a bigger plan. Because there's been 2 No Kings protests. I mean, yeah, they've been 5 million and 7 million, but what came out of it? There was really no plan on what to do after that. And I'm not the only one that thinks this. I was kind of digging through this topic on Reddit, and this person's comment kind of resonated with me. This person says, okay, and what next? I've been to several protests over the last year, and what is totally lacking is what we need to do next with the momentum. Not saying to stop protesting, but people are over showing up as a statement and nothing else. We get people like Newsom served to us as our next president, and he's part of the problem. Now, I'm not going to get into the Gavin Newsom part, but basically what I'm saying is that this guy understands that these protests, something else needs to happen after that. On to the next comment. This person says, I applaud you and I support you, but have really no confidence the No Kings protest, will lead to meaningful change. Now, I'm not going to read the rest of his comment because he's just pointing out the flaws with the US government, but if you want to read it, you can pause it right here if you want. But this next person's comment is short and sweet. All he says is, can't wait for nothing to happen after this. Now, don't get me wrong, I want the No Kings protest to succeed, but instead of 5 million or 7 million, I'd rather see 50 million, 60 million, 100 million. Because that will show that a lot of US citizens got off the sofa and decided to participate. Now, I came across another video that showed what the younger generation in the United States currently thinks about what's going on right now. And, it's a little bit disappointing.
What have you heard that Donald Trump has been doing recently?
Gulf of America. That's the last thing I kept up with.
We're going to war with Iraq. That's been crazy.
What do you do in Colombia? You got Maduro out?
I don't with Trump, but that done.
He's trying to sue those people for making jokes about him.
600 times!
You must be happy.
I'm very happy.
The Ayatollah's dead.
What? Who?
What? What is that?
Who the is Ayatollah?
I've never heard that word in my life.
Lewis, what's Ayatollah?
I haven't heard. I found out about Chuck Norris yesterday. That was more devastating to me.
He was the supreme leader of Iran.
He's dead?
Oh,
We killed him.
You did? You killed him?
Johnny! Whoa!
Now, some of you are probably wondering, hey, GTL, why the hell are you showing me this? Well, it's to show what everybody outside of this Krispy Kreme donut really thinks about what's going on right now. And what's really scary is that this is the young generation that's supposed to lead the United States in the future. But don't worry, it gets worse.
If you were in charge, how would you take on Iran?
Yeah, all my girls and we would all start putting belts on them.
We get a bunch of girls in bikinis, we make them run across the battlefield. All the guys are distracted, we all run in.
Look at him in his eyes, I guess. Flirt with him.
I'd blow him up. I don't know enough about it, but I would probably wipe it out.
Drop a bomb. Baby, bomb the out of him.
I would bomb the out of him.
What have you heard about Venezuela?
Venezuela? Nothing. I'm not sure.
I barely know what'll be going on in like Tennessee where I'm from.
That they beat us in the World Baseball Classic?
Have you heard anything else?
No.
Nothing. I have heard nothing about Venezuela.
You know, honestly, I don't know and I don't care.
Where is Venezuela?
I don't know. I'm drunk. I don't know. Venezuela? Isn't that in Spain?
I don't know about you, but it was painful to hear every single one of their responses. And you can bet that none of them will care about the No Kings protest or about anything that's going on right now. I mean, they don't even know what's going on in Venezuela or Iran. Now, my guess is that everyone that was interviewed was either MAGA or else they did not vote. But I really want to go back to this pie chart because it really shows the size of their population that actually participated in the protest. I do hope it gets bigger because a lot of shit has gone on since the last protest. But a protest without a call to action after is kind of useless if you ask me. I guess we'll see on Sunday what the results were. Now, to the haters or the people who are going to email me saying that my video is out of line, or those that are going to say that I'm doing nothing but complaining and that I should be helping. No, I'm not going to help you fix your own problems. I actually just laid out what the problem is, and it's everything outside of this donut. So instead of getting mad at anybody outside of your country, you should be getting mad at your fellow citizens. Go get them off their sofa or off of their phones and rally up the people or the ones that say they don't talk about politics. Make them understand politics because your country's on the line right now. But one thing I will say is that every country around the world has every right to be pissed off right now because the chaos inside your country is now overflowing and the rest of the world is now affected. It's not just Canada anymore. I mean, we were probably the first to be targeted, but the rest of the world as well. Pretty much every country in Europe, Asia, Australia, New Zealand, South America, South Africa, everywhere. All eyes are on the United States and we're hoping that someday you guys fix your problem. Now, to my US viewers who understand, none of what I just said applies to you, but it does apply to your fellow US citizens who think the world revolves around them. I do apologize if this is a little hard to hear, but unfortunately it is the truth. Now, to everybody else, I do apologize if you don't agree with anything I said, or if what I said was a little bit too harsh. But I get things from a different angle than most people, and I think I just got fed up with the amount of hate emails I'm getting from Democrats, saying that I have no right to complain. But personally, I think I know I align with a lot of my viewers. And I can safely say that a lot of us are fed up with what's going on right now, and we just want something to be done. Alright, that's all I got for this video. And if you're still watching up to this point, I really appreciate you supporting my channel. And for those that are still here, here's a photo of the co-host. I don't know when this was taken, but quite often I always have to work around her. I mean, I guess it's her desk, right? If you found any value or agree with anything I said in this video, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international perspective without the US media bias, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below. That way you're notified of my future videos. And if you want to see more of my videos, check out the ones that will show up on your screen shortly. Thanks everyone. I'll catch you in the next one.